Hey guys, Psychic here, and welcome back to another episode of Cave Factory with me. Hello, and I think I figured it out, and it's been working for a little bit because I've had it running, and I also didn't have to wait nearly as long as I thought of for this. I had to wait for a long time for other things, but because I can do that weird picky up thing by shift right-clicking, on it, I actually only had to let it grow for the one crystal, and then I could move it over, and it functioned as if I did it the other way. So if I look into each of these demon crucibles, you can see that there's a little bit in each of them. I won't say it's too terribly much, but I don't think this is supposed to be a very quick process. I'm sure if there was ways, or I'm sure there is a way, if I were to put, like, one of the rituals that creates will, this might go a little faster. I frankly don't need it to be, though, so I don't mind the wait. What did I just get? I don't know. Also, this doesn't have much in it, because apparently I forgot to add that one into the... I only put these 4 into the system at first, not that one, but I fixed it. So, these are going. I think you just heard it pop. I'm not sure if we'll see one pop anytime soon. That's okay. Trust me, it works. Even with those all the way up there. Because I think, like, so what the problem was is that these crystals, because it was here, it technically wasn't above the ritual. And I think it has to be above, at least, level with the very top block, and then you can go out and above to the limits. So these work just fine, which is wonderful. But we're gonna let that go. I actually, since we did that, we can check off all the will. So it says automate will crystals and fill 5 greater... Oh, no, we can't, because I have to wait. Haha. I thought we could, because I automated it. But we'll have to fill 5 greater Tartaric gems with all the variants of will. So that's something that we'll do once we let this run for a while. I also ran into the problem where I ran out of blood or life points in my network. So I had to go fill that back up, because it gave me nausea. Some fierce. But I fixed that for now. Now, I'm gonna go show you, because we can check off another thing, because I did automate all of the different types of slates, which is probably something that we were supposed to do a while ago, but I've just done it now. So if we go downstairs, and I scroll over this thing, I have made a node router, and a node router is pretty easy. It just takes 400 will minimum, 2 lapis, 1 stick, and 1 reinforced slate in the Hellfire Forge, and I'll give you this. Excuse me. And what you're supposed to do with it is you make other types of nodes. So if I type in blood in the node, you're going to originally make just normal routing nodes, and then you're going to make input and output nodes from there. It's all pretty easy crafting recipes. Everything requires at least a minimum of 400 will, but only drains about 5 to 25. And then you need a master routing node, which is a little bit more difficult simply because of the imbued slate. And it drains 200 will, but it's still the minimum of 400. Anyway, you get all of those, and you only need the 1 master routing node, and then for the setup that I have, you only need 2 of each of the input and output, and you actually don't need any of the normal routing nodes. Now, of course, you still have to make them in order to craft the other 2, but that means you only need to make 4. I, of course, made a lot more than that, because I wasn't sure how this was going to work. Okay. This took a couple tries for it to function, and it's still mad at me because I'm not creating blood fast enough for this to function. I will once I turn on the top zombie thing, I believe. But we're gonna just do this for a second. Without fail, everyone walks into my room. Anyway, What do you want? I'll edit it out. Oh, jeez. Okay, so I'm having a hard time keeping up with the blood and the blood network, but other than that, we'll just do this for now with the sacrificial knife. I did make some more of those rune of sacrifice for the zombies and such, so that should help a little bit. But not so much until I turn that one on, which I can't because I'm standing here and they would be a nuisance. But let me quickly explain this so I can turn that on. So essentially, the things seem a little backwards, but they're not. The output nodes outputs the chest into the network. It does not output into the chest. So it is a little backwards from the way I think. Because usually when you're putting something, well, I don't know. It seems backwards to me because in my mind I'm inputting into there, but you gotta output from, I don't know. Anyway, so you need an output routing node. You also need these things called item filters that are in the blood magic. It's pretty easy. It just takes a red dye, leather, redstone dust, and a filter part, and then the filter part is just a blank slate, any type of stone, and then any type of glass. And it only takes 1,000 LP for the filter part, and then to craft the actual filter takes 500. So it can be a little pricey if you're doing this in the beginning, but for me, because I have a lot of stuff in my network, like we go into my division sigil, I'm just shy of 200,000. It's no problem. So I do need to get more food, though. So that way I can keep doing this. So let's go to our kitchen real quick, and I can craft some easy stuff. Let's go here. I'll just do more baked vegetable melody. That's usually the easiest thing for me to craft. Hi Nugget, hi Carrot. I finally named them properly, and I'm hoping those are the actual names I gave them originally. I know Carrot was one. I don't remember if it was Nugget or someone else did have a really good name, and now that one also escapes my mind. Anyway. So hopefully we can keep this running for at least a little bit. But you do have to have the filter regardless if you even aren't, like, specific about things. So if you are just inputting a chest and you're like, oh, I don't care what goes into it, it doesn't matter, you still have to put a filter. And filters only hold 9 of each item. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab this one so things will actually stop functioning for a second. No, wait, that's why. That's why this seems backwards. I explained it backwards, which is why I was confused. This is the chest that inputs into that. So you have to have an input node. And it seems confusing because you're outputting from the chest. Okay, I get it now. I get why I was confused. I forgot why I was confused. Anyway, filter. So for the item filter that I have right here, I have it inputting stone, blank slate, reinforced slate, and imbued slate. I don't have the demonic slate because it doesn't craft anything anymore. So, and I have it set to where if you click on each of these, I only have one item going in at a time because I only want one item going into the this thing, blood altar at a time. So then you're going to have an output node that'll input in there. So it's outputting from the system, meaning it's going to input into the blood altar. And also, when you put these nodes down, I know it doesn't look like it's connected to this, but wherever you put them, it'll automatically choose any of the things, and you just select the one. So, like, if I were to select this block, you see it takes away the filter, because I'm looking at that block. But I'm not inputting or outputting into, like, I don't know, the capacity rune. I just want to input into the thing, into the blood altar. So this one I have, again, those same list of items. 1 stone, 1 blank slate, 1 reinforced slate, and 1 imbued slate. And those will go into here one at a time, and it won't put anything more. It'll only hold the 1, so that way you're not wasting a bunch of your blood trying to do 64 stone at a time like I was before with the hopper. So then the input node, so it's inputting into the system, outputting from the blood altar. I have it where it's just going to take all of anything of the blank, reinforced, imbued, or demonic. It doesn't need to take out stone because we don't want that. Stone doesn't do anything. And then from there, it's going to go to this output from the network, input into the barrel, anything. And I have this one set up to where it's going to do 8 demonic slates, 16 imbued slates, 32 reinforced slates, and 64 blank slates. And the reason why is because it detects what's in that current inventory. So as soon as I hit 64 slates in the blank slate, it'll stop inputting the blank slates. Instead, it'll move on to the next one and do reinforced slates. And that's because what happens is it gets stuck. So when it hits 64, this thing can't output anymore. It cannot go into the input node. It gets stuck. So it'll automatically go over into the next level and make that. And then that, it's like, oh, I have room for that. And then it'll put it in there. So the only way that this can go wrong, of course, is once we hit, let's see, I think I set it to 8 demonic runes. Yeah. Once we hit 8 demonic runes and all the other runes are full, so basically if all of them are in there, there'll just be a demonic rune that'll sit in here. But because it doesn't craft anything else, it won't waste my blood, and we'll know that because we'll just walk up here and there'll just be a demonic rune just kind of hanging out. And when that becomes the thing, we can just put our Master Blood Orb in here and just transfer things over into our soul network. So this is kind of multi-purpose. So that means all of this stone that I have in my inventory actually is not needed because I only have this set to do a stack of blank slates and then I think an equivalency of 48 of the others, right? No. 48 plus 8 is 56. 56 of the others. So it is not a lot. And the reason why I have the reinforced slate in there is because I messed up somewhere when I was making this. But the most important thing you gotta remember is with the node router. I was gonna say the road router. That was not right. You have to have everything connected, and you have to at least have the one master routing node in order for it to be considered connected. Now, not everything has to connect to that node directly, though. So I have these three, that one, and then those two connected to it, but I have this input node connected to this output node. But because it's connected as a series, it's still considered part of this system. So, but once you have all those set up to go, you're pretty much done and everything is automated. So I'm just going to put a stack of stone in there. I'm going to put the rest away because I don't really need it. And then bam, looks like you have all your slates automated and we're going to knock that off. And I got the extra points because I used the magic routing nodes. So, boop. Yay. So this will just go on until, like I said, it gets full. Or if we just decide to not do anything anymore, as long as we take it out of this barrel, we should be fine. Now, I'm sure there's a way to make it where you put everything into the one chest. It'll both input and output from the one chest, so that way it automatically would take these blank slates and then move on to the next one. But I feel like I tried to do that, and it kept pulling things too soon. It was kind of doing it backwards, where it wanted to do the demonic slates first and then work its way backwards. Which, like, isn't too big of a deal, but I didn't have enough blood at the time, so I was like, I think I was more comfortable doing it this way. So now all we have to do to make sure that this doesn't run out of blood anytime soon is go over here and turn on our zombie spawner. And that also means I can get rid of this weird barrel here because this does nothing now. Paved dark slab. There we go. Boop. Yep, and then these will kill zombies because of the ritual that we have going on downstairs, and it'll go on forever. And I don't have my magnet on because I'm tired of picking up zombie flesh. I have so much zombie flesh. How much zombie flesh do I have? That's a good question. I have flesh. I have almost 4,000, which is way too many. In fact, I have 4,000 now, I'm pretty sure. Ow. Hi. Ow. 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 Stop that. There we go. Yep, now we have 4,001 rotten flesh. That's too much. But yeah, so this will automatically go into the... I can't look at it because there's zombies in there. Into the blood altar and fill continuously. So hopefully this will be fast enough. If not, of course, like I said, I'll turn it off, let it fill up, and then once you start it, it should maintain after that. Oh, hello. But it also is going to take more right now because it stopped doing the blank slates. It's moved on to reinforced slates, so of course that takes more life points. So I think actually for now we do have this automated, so that's not the problem, but I don't want it to run out of life points. So we're just going to let that be alone for a little bit, so that way it doesn't break forever. Are you going to pull that? Just trying. Okay. So yeah, we have that automated, super simple, super nice. So the last thing we have on Blood Magic, again, since we've already automated the will, we just have to add it to 5 greater Tartaric gems, which I believe I only have the 1 right now. And these are not the hardest things to craft. The problem is they take a lot of will. Yeah. Takes at least 1,000, and I believe this bad boy only holds a little over 1,000. So that's gonna take a lot of time in our hands. But I also did manage to repair a sentient sword. You just take the will crystals that we make and you put it in an anvil and it'll repair it. So that helps a lot. But that'll be a little bit of an AFK session later, I think. So I'm going to put all this away. So now the question is, now what? Because we have to wait for those the will crystals to function for a while. And that's going to take a while. Now, we do also have the blood magic runes that blood magic? No. Haha, we just did those. The Botania rune. So it's automate the rune production using Corpia system. That's something I'm going to have to research on my own, because even though I'm well aware of the runes, I have not a clue with the Corpia system. And I'm sure there's a book somewhere that'll tell me that. Botania. Let's see. Basics and mechanics. Miscellaneous challenges. Auto pure daisy, collagen funds, record sugar, animal. Rune crafter. Create a system that can craft all runes on demand or keep them stocked. Every part of the system must be automated and self-sustaining, including the item inputs. Bonus points if only one runic altar block is used. You need to be pretty crazy to try this one. Oh, that's of course why the mod pack maker wants me to try it then. So, let's see. See, the thing is I don't have a clue what it's meaning by Corpia system. And I don't think this is gonna tell me either. No. Oh, there's only 2 things I haven't unlocked. That's wonderful. Let's see. Corpia Crystal Cube, Corpia Decor, Corpia Crystal Cube. A seer usually looks through a crystal ball to see the future, while a Corpia handler can look through a crystal cube to see the present. The Corpia Crystal Cube is a visual medium for interacting with the Corpia network. When the block is given a spark, right-clicking it with an item will make it display how many of that item exists in a spark's network. The display updates itself about once every second. Punching a cube will request one of its current item from the network, and sneak punching it will request a whole stack. Kind of like a drawer. A redstone comparator attached to a cube will read the magnitude of the number of items in it and can find logarithmically. Sure, that it is doubling the items in the network and increase the comparator's output 1. If the cube can find no items, the comparator output signal strikes 0. Sneak right-clicking a Corpia Crystal Cube with Wand of the Forest locks or unlocks it. When locked, a cube's monitored item can't be changed. This sounds exactly like drawers. I think that's what it is. Decor, funnel, index, retainer, index. It can be requested verbally by name. The Corpia Index is an ender crystal-like block that interfaces with the Corpia network that its Corpia Spark is connected to. Approaching one of these will activate it. It shows its radius effect when active. While activated, the index will intercept chat messages from nearby players, processing them into requests and preventing them from being broadcasted to the chat. Each request will attempt to pull from the network items whose names match the chat message. For example, saying iron ingot will make the index search the network for a single iron ingot and, if found, manifest it as a dropped item. Oh. This is a lot. Decor. I'm cool with decor. Funnel. Just dropping the world above this. Of course, now my dog barks. To tell the Corpia phone to request, place item and item from on the block for more than one of principal and okay, I'm definitely not doing this in one. Okay. I need to look up tutorial. I'm not bright enough to learn how to do that one on my own. I'm gonna be honest about that. How's this feeling? That's good. See, it feels pretty fast. It's just trying to maintain that's the difficult thing. Okay, so we have that. What else do we have to do? We're ignoring that one. If I do that one last, that means I did it. We have the food chapter, so we need to do automation for food. And why have I never gotten wolf bait? Do I have beef? Do I need to kill a cow? I don't have beef. Hey, cows. Hang on, I already used one of you to make a cow in a jar, but I'm gonna need another one of you, but I'm gonna be nice first. And let this happen. And then innocently murder the one that's alone. There we go. I got raw beef. And then bone. Bone. And then 2 of these. Cool. Claim that. Is there any other bait that I was missing? No, I think that's all of them now. Okay, cool. That's done. I'm gonna put that there. Okay. So with the food quests, all we have left is we need to make a mechanical harvester, because it says that now you have all these, you won't harvest them by hand, right? Mm-hmm. And that has to do with create, which is nice, but I'm probably not going to use that very often. And then we have the dyes, the massive food production, animal automation, and food factory. And then after that, the only thing we have left is a handful of challenge quests, such as the food. Ooh, we're at 18% now. Singularity stuff, creative fluid tank, creative motor, a bunch of stuff. So, I think in between episodes, I'm just going to, so we can finish off the blood magic is I'm just gonna AFK over at the will so we can hopefully get enough to fill 5 greater Tartaric gems. And I will make those and that sort of thing. Once we do that, we'll check that off. I think then I'm gonna go jumping into automating Botania runes because we do have the space for it. And if not, I can always make more space. But we have the space downstairs and I can actually destroy this whole setup because we have infinite mana now. So I don't need all of this. Doesn't look great anyway. Or I could just use this wall. I do have quite a large wall with nothing in it. And figure out how to do those. Because I have a feeling that it's not just wanting me to automate the main 4 or even the main 8 or whatever. I think it's going to want me to go and automate all of them. So I have to do water, fire, earth, air, spring, summer, autumn, winter, mana, rune of lust, rune of gluttony, rune of greed, rune of sloth, rune of wrath, envy, and pride. Which is so many. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 16 different runes that I'm going to have to. How big is this wall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Ah, that works perfectly because I didn't count one because I was leaving a space. I could use this wall. I could also just, like I said, tear that down and use more of the wall. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up tutorial. I already said that. I'm gonna have to do that. So, I think that's what I'll do in between episodes, and then, of course, do a little bit more mining when it comes to making space for our food farm, because that is going to be a pretty large task in my mind. It might not actually be in reality, because we do have infinite energy, and I do plan on using a lot of the, whatever immersive engineering uses to grow things that I always forget the name of. So, yeah. I do plan on using a lot of those. The only thing I don't know how to harvest off the top of my head is the different types of tree fruits. But we'll figure that out at a later date too. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any tips, tricks, or anything like that, please put it down in the comments below. I always greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!